We often, as an organization, of course, go back to sort of our foundational verse in the Bible, built on the foundation of James 1:27, and it's to care for orphans and widows in their distress. I think there's no question, if you want to find the most desperately in need children, you would find those in the orphans of the world.
ShowHope is a movement to care for orphans. It was founded in 2003 when we adopted Hope. I had experienced something so much deeper than I ever thought I could when they handed that child to me in the hallway of a hotel. And I knew before I got home that we needed to make this a possibility for as many people that wanted to do it. And I also knew that the financial barrier to that was going to be great.
So many families and many individuals started to help us help those families, and this thing grew and grew. And specifically in China, we were given the opportunity to partner with some friends of ours there who are involved in bringing in special needs children into a facility that we funded through ShowHope, the building and the operating of, called Maria's Big House of Hope, which provides care for about 140 special needs orphans in Luoyang, China. The coolest, most amazing little people I've ever met on the planet are some of these children that I meet in Maria's Big House of Hope. And I'll take my guitar and I'll go from room to room and I'll just sit down on the floor and I'll start playing my guitar. You know, it's the most meaningful concerts I ever give. And I remember I went in and this little guy, paralyzed from the waist down, comes army crawling over to me with this big grin on his face and just puts his face right up to me and just listening and grinning the whole time while I'm playing. And I'm like, okay, I gotta hang with this kid. I wanna know who this little guy is. And I was told that, well, that's Isaac, and he's kind of the mayor of Maria's Big House. I hope he kind of runs the show here, you know. I kind of quickly figured that out.
Isaac was brought to Maria's Big House of Hope at about age 2. He suffered from spina bifida. A lot of times that leaves children paralyzed, and Isaac is paralyzed from the waist down. And when he came to Maria's Big House of Hope, he was very malnourished, and Isaac wouldn't have survived. Isaac was brought to Maria's Big House of Hope for life-saving medical care, and because of that, he is a healthy, happy little boy. And because of ShowHope and the sponsors that help ShowHope and the people who have given to ShowHope, Isaac now has made the complete cycle into a family.
I guess the first thing we saw of him was this video of him laughing, which is very fitting for him because he laughs all the time. And he just—
You hear him in the background right now.
So he just really captured our hearts, and we're like, okay, we're gonna start praying for this kid. And didn't know he was our child, but we had just completed our adoption of Caleb, which, you know, is expensive, and we had gotten a grant from ShowHope for that, and which was amazing. And so we felt God, like 6 months later, asking us to adopt Isaac, and we were like, okay, it's just almost laughable because we have no money, we have just spent all our money, and so we were just like, okay, God, you know, we'll do it. We'll just start walking through doors as you open them, and if you close them, we'll know. But thankfully, they were able to provide a grant for our adoption, which was exactly what we needed. And I guess a few months earlier, he had looked at one of his friends who was getting a family, and he just said, me, you, and that means I don't have about a family. And so he knew he didn't have one. And so to see him look at his pictures and go, that's my mom, that's my dad, those are my siblings, and they're coming. And I think he actually, when he would point it before he knew our names, he would just go, mine, they're mine. And that's what he just kept saying over and over.
I've been a part of some cool things. Yeah, I've won some awards. I've, you know, been to some really amazing, cool places that I thought I would only see in pictures as a kid from Paducah, Kentucky. Some unbelievable, breathtaking experiences. But it truly, without sounding cliche, does not get any better than that experience, to get to watch the life of this little guy, Isaac, unfold into this amazing, beautiful, beautiful story.
I'm a firm believer in not everyone's called to adopt, but I'm a firm believer in that everyone's called to do something.
Because you can't, those folks that are called to it can't do it alone. That's why ShowHope exists. You know, there's lots of families that say, we would do this, we want to do this, but we can't afford it.
The biggest need that ShowHope has is families to step forward to help us get these kids the money they need for the grants.
The grants didn't really just help our adoption, they made it possible. I don't know how it could have happened. God finds a way, and this is how He found a way. It's how He created a way, is by giving through the hearts of generous people that gave to ShowHope, that in turn gave to us. So that made it possible for us to bring home Caleb. It made it possible for us to bring home Isaac. And because of those grants, our children are home.
So we experienced 2 grants, which funded our adoptions, but also the care at Maria's Big House of Hope that really literally saved Isaac's life.
He's such a reminder for me of every one of those children knit together, fearfully and wonderfully made by the God of the universe, with a story to tell, with a life to live, with so much to give, and so much. They're put here for a reason and a purpose. And this is, you really are changing the world, and we won't know until eternity. But I'm so grateful for those that have come alongside us, for those who've joined us in this, stood with Mary Beth and me and with ShowHope, and become a ShowHope sponsor to help make stories like Isaac's happen.